Hello, my name is Michelle. First we do this. Trigger warning. This video may contain descriptions around the topics of different types of abuse and loss. The intention of this project is not to overstep boundaries, but to heal. My name's Michelle, and I'm here today to tell you what's going on in my life. And I'll show you some of my art, and I'll read you some of my poetry. I'll give you some background about me. I'm 57 years old, and I'm disabled. I'm also an artist, and I have been for 52 years. I have many serious health problems and also many disabilities. Some are visible and some are not. I live with my 82-year-old mom, and she's my caregiver. I have 2 PSWs whom I love a lot, and they come every night to care for me. I have a difficult life because I'm always sick, and I depend on other people for everything I need. I have had many people abuse me, and now I live with the after effects of trauma and complex PTSD, depression, anxiety disorder, and something called derealization, which means I feel like I'm watching a movie of my life unfold before my eyes. I've had it ever since I can remember. I'm getting therapy, and I'm a member of Workman Arts, who support me and my art making and poetry. I started this channel as a project for a predecessor for making a documentary about my life, which I will make sometime in the future. I'm also in the process of making my own podcasts, which deal more in depth regarding some of the trauma inflicted upon me. Okay. So, I'm going to read you some of my poetry, and it just takes a moment to come up. It's called Vision. I see two of everything, a blur of motion, the aperture closed, no boyfriends, no husbands. I am alone. I long for contact. I have a mother's love, pure and sweet, showering me with blessings, hugs and kisses. But something is missing. A man who loves me, finds me beautiful. No, I am whole, showered with gifts, but wanting more than I can buy. That one talks about the way I feel about being single. I had a bad experience years ago, and I've remained single the rest of my life. But you never know, someone might come into my life that's very special. This one is called Yellow. Ruby-throated and acidic, hiss, snort oxygen, wrapped in plastic, with lights of greeny blue, seas choppy, peaks of white, thick paste and gel, administered with a palette knife. painterly impasto, sgraffito brushes, carving away Italian marble, veins in poor condition, needles of blood thinner, sharp and painful, a medicine in disguise. I like to use color when I'm writing in my poetry because I'm also a visual artist and I love color. My favorite color is purple. My second favorite is pink. My next is red. I love any shade of red. Can be either a warm red or a cool red. Cool reds have blue in it to make that red. Warm has some yellow in it. Okay, the next one is called Create. Kandinsky's music, colors dance, symphony of crashing waves, of sound and symbols. I prefer Zildjian. Neil Peart in a flourish of hands and feet, puddles and droplets of pure peaks, sticks broken in a heap, levers, pegs, and pins, turning dials, treble and bass, ivory keys with mahogany, electronic copy, pasted here, elephant poachers, African drum, shiny conga, stratosphere, Stratocasters, waves of blue and gold. I love music, and I love to talk about music. It's kind of funny, you think of music and not talking, but I love to talk about groups that I love, people that I love. I love Peter Gabriel. He can put out anything and I'll buy it. But I'm lucky I have one of those Alexas and she plays any kind of music I want. Let's see. Here's another one. It's called My Cross. My limbs float away into darkness that is never ending, and the branches that support them for 52 years of hardship, the dancing of colors, a prosthesis jammed into black cloth, pus flowing, mirrored hazel eyes with flecks of yellow. I see you above me in the abyss, stars twinkling, and below is a bloody canvas, putty like skin dripping. The curtains are closed on the stage, beginning a new day's meaning. I talk a lot about my late brother in my poetry. I miss him very much. He passed away 2 days after my 41st birthday of a massive heart attack. Let me see. I think... Here, let's try this one. It's called Keeping Photographs. I'm coming down. Okay, keep the light off. Feet on creaking, narrow steps. The cramped, warm, carpeted basement, furnace chugging, blasting, bloated from dinner, my eyes accustomed to darkness. I make a beeline for your back, taking the negative, sliding into enlarger, slipping silver from its box, covered with masks. You don't have to reinvent yourself with me. I take you as you are, loving those feelings, those hands. In a flash, light exposed, you fluttering, bird-like, the image is made. That one is about my late brother. And years ago, when we both lived with our maternal grandmother, he was a black and white photographer. And in the basement, right next to the furnace, he made a dark room for himself. And I used to go down there and sit with him for hours. Actually, I would stand right behind him, just watching everything he did. And I was amazed by it. His hands would flutter over the image, the making of the photograph. And depending on how much light he would expose the paper and negative to, it would make the image either lighter or darker. So I think that's all. Oh, I'm going to read one more called Thickener. This one is about all my favorite foods. It's kind of fun. It was fun to make. In the recipe, you must add flour for thickening. Chinese New Year noodles. Popcorn with butter. Rolled dumplings made by Laura Larrabee. Fresh bread made with yeast. Hot samosas steaming. Prime rib and Yorkshire pudding. Boiled dinner with corned beef brisket. Kneaded pizza dough. Scotch bonnets. Butter chicken. Steak and baked potato. Sautéed mushrooms. Homemade lime sodas. And lemon cake with cream cheese icing. Oh boy, I'm getting hungry. So now I'm going to show you some of my art. This one is about Mother Mary. Let me see.
Michelle, here is a reminder. With someone who has been there on peer support programs.
Okay, so this
Michelle,
is, I'm trying to get it out of the glare. There. That one is about Mother Mary, the Blessed Virgin. It's basically a stylized representation of her. I'll show you the next one. This one shows all the faces inside someone's head. I call it trauma. And you can see all the faces. I hope it's not in glare too much. Yeah, You see all the little faces. And it shows how memory affects trauma and trauma affects memory. Okay. The next one. The next one I call Surround Me. And it's kind of like a feather. It's hard to get it so it's not in glare. I did all of these with black pastel paper and silver ink. Let me get another one. This one is more horizontal. Okay. This one is of a swan and an emerald. I like this one. Most of my art is very stylized. Some of it does not look like exactly the way it's supposed to look. And this one, oh, this one's my favorite. I call it, excuse me, I call it Pisces, because that's what I am. My birthday's on March 14th, 1965. So I'll be 60 in 3 years. Oh my goodness. I never thought I'd make it this through. Anyway, this shows faces, and it's supposed to be me, but it doesn't really look like me, with kind of the hair flowing, and I like this one a lot. Whew, I gotta take a break. A couple of years ago, I was in hospital. I was very sick. To save my life, they put a needle in my right wrist, in the artery, and when they took it out, it started to bleed a lot. And it swelled up like a balloon. And then when I came home out of the hospital, it had 3-inch deep wounds in it, and on top and on the bottom. The wounds have healed, but my arm still has not healed. And this summer will be 2 years. They did it to save my life. Sometimes I get very depressed because I have depression. And sometimes, well, sometimes it's hard to cope. I'm sick a lot. I get these painful injections, and twice a day for the rest of my life, probably. And I don't know, it's just hard to cope. It's hard to get through every day. Some days are not too bad. You know, I have a lot of physical pain, and I certainly have emotional pain too. So that's one of the reasons why I made this YouTube channel. Maybe it will help someone else with what they're going through, because nobody knows what you're going through unless you tell them. And sometimes I know people can be kind of not really understanding. You have to talk to someone professional if you can. Call a distress center. They will give you support. And if you can get professional help. I have professional help, and it means the world to me. But for many years, I didn't have any help. So it was very hard to cope for me. At one point in my life, I was homeless. Not for a very long period, but it was the winter and it was very cold. And all I had to eat was snow. That was a very low point in my life. Luckily now I'm in a warm home. And I have my mom. And I'm not being victimized anymore. I'll show you one more. Let me get it out here. Oh, I think I did it the wrong way. Yeah, I think I did. No, I didn't. I did it the wrong way before. I get confused sometimes. This one. This one has, what's the title of it? It's called Sleep. There we go. It shows my grandfather's face is in it. And it shows more faces and some lines that go through it to indicate, to me anyway, sleep and all the comfort that it brings. So let's see. What am I going to do today? Well, tonight my PSWs will come. My mom's in the kitchen doing things. She's busy throughout the day. Today I will be part of a group online for people who have depression or anxiety disorder, anything like that, bipolar, for doing art with people who have been there. And I'm looking forward to that. In the afternoon, I'll probably surf the web. And that's about it. Then I'll have my snack at 3. Oh, I'm diabetic too. So that also is difficult. But luckily, last year, when I came out of hospital, I did not need insulin anymore. Wasn't that wonderful? I was so happy. No more needles. I only have to take my blood sugar maybe once or twice a week. And it's great now. It's usually about 8 something. 8.3, 8.2, 8.4. And that's I believe it's in metric. I'm not sure. I don't know what the glucometer looks like. My mom does all that. So anyway, I think I'm going to end here. Just remember that you're precious. You're very important in this world. Otherwise, you would not be here. Remember that. And that life is worth living. Life is precious. If you can find some spiritual belief that you have to help you through whatever gets you through, that's my belief. And I'm not here to judge anybody. However you do things to make you get through life, you do the best with what you've got. And that's all we can do. So, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.